Welcome to the Season Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Scene Snobs Podcast. I am your host, Mick Manhattan, joined as by producer Paul. How you doing, Paul?
Doing good. It's a nice sunny day. Can't complain. It's a Friday, or it's Tuesday.
No. This is not live. This is not live. Yeah, that's right, everybody. You're seeing this. We're recorded, so thank you for joining us. But no, this is not a live show. I am at Podcast Movement 2024 in Washington, D.C. all week. Next week, while we record this, you're listening to it at a time while I'm already there. Hopefully, plugging the Scene Snobs well and meeting some really great people to work with and possibly meet some good sponsors and other things like that for the show and channel. But overall, man, I'm excited. I'm
excited for you.
I can't
wait to hear all the stories.
Well, that's what I like about this one, because I chose this one because I was thinking about going maybe to another movie convention or another key convention or something like that, covering that. And then I was like, you know what though? Like, we're coming up on year 5, our 5th anniversary. I'm like, there's always been a business. It's always been like kind of how I run it. And I think a fairly fun one though.
Yeah.
But we have a good time and stuff, but like I gotta take that next step, man. I gotta see where do we take the Scene Snobs channel to the next step, especially the podcast. And so I want to learn from the professionals, the ones who are out there grinding it and seemingly making it work. So I want to try and do that myself. So.
Hell yeah. We're going to go international.
Well, Singapore and Germany really like us for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, man. For some reason we get hotspots there. Not all the time, but sometimes. And, I think Germany mostly in October, so it's kind of fun. You know, they love their Snobtober. Awesome. But hopefully this year we will amaze with our 5th anniversary. But yeah, I'm stoked though. I do love doing recorded episodes, and I can't wait until after the 5th anniversary, because then we're going to start doing a little more of them. Okay. You know, and the show will always come out on Tuesday, people. But when we do these recorded ones, like, it's nice because it's, you know, it's a little more like intimate. You know, we're touching each other and stroking each other while you guys are watching and listening. I mean, sorry, stroking each other's egos. That's what I meant. Oh. Speaking of which, I got a good stroke of the ego, and I want to talk about our sponsor of this episode, Sticker Mule. That's right, Sticker Mule. We may not align politically, but you do make some great stuff, and I'll support your business as you do it. And you're supporting my business as we do it as well. So thank you. They make awesome stickers and more. I get a lot of the stuff, we give out at the conventions and stuff like that. I'll be giving out next week while I'm out there and stuff. So it's just going to be a really good time. I'm excited for it. And Sticker Mule is helping me keep my things, my keychains and all that stuff, all the tchotchkes that we give away and sell. And they do so much more. I get t-shirts from them as well. You can get custom t-shirts and stuff. So go check out Sticker Mule below. You get $10 off your first order. And it's going to be worth it, because once you sign up, they give you like deals all the time. Like, this was a deal that they gave me for being signed up. Like I said, go down below. I got 50 of these for like $9, and that's fantastic. That's and every once in a while, every week, they have like special sales, so you may find something you need, or you can always go look for other stuff. I do love Sticker Mule, so thank you guys. But you're not allowed to abduct our show anymore, because we're getting into a fun topic tonight. Aliens.
Yes.
So, and it's ironic because I just saw an article. I don't know if it was from today. I will admit it was a headline article for me. I did not dive in any deeper. But I wanted to. It was funny because, like, I saw it and I was like, this is kismet, because we're talking about aliens on the show. And apparently some like weird black ring appeared over southeastern Virginia recently. And like it had people like weird. So I wanted to see, like, Paul, have you had any encounters with what you believe or perceived as extraterrestrial life?
I have, but was quickly disproven and disappointed. So the first time I saw Starlink floating around, I was at Wet and Wild working security, and it was like 2 a.m. And I was like, it's aliens. Because if you haven't seen Starlink, you guys, it looks crazy. It looks like something out of a Star Wars movie, just a cluster of lights, like a giant ship. And I literally was like, I found proof. Like, I pulled out my phone, I recorded it, took pictures, sent it to one of my friends that's a big conspiracist, and he's like, that's fucking Starlink, bro. And I was like, God damn it. So that's probably the only alien encounter I've ever had that wasn't actually an alien, sadly.
That's not. And listen, you could have just said like it was a UFO. I don't know what happened. I couldn't identify it. So, which is what I'm going to do with my stories. So, so I don't technically believe in aliens, but I have stories. So here's how it goes. Well, when I was a kid, okay, so I think it was more along the lines of like your story. When I was a kid, we would go camping at this campgrounds every summer. So like I was walking home and it was dark one night, right? I think it had to be like 9:30, 10 o'clock. I was like maybe 10. And I swear to God, I saw a ship flying by like real slow. And like I could make out like the ship. It looked like, it's weird. It kind of looked like the shape of what a gun is, like where it comes out and then kind of comes down at the end. And I'm like, it's got probably a blimp. If like I'm 42 now, so it's like like for me, I'm like probably saw a blimp at night or something, far away, and I was like, I thought it was an alien spaceship, but whatever. The second time. Second time isn't my fault. An entire town saw it. So I was young at my hometown. It had an encounter with lights, and nobody knew what they were. So like they were like triangular and they started moving, and it was on the news and everything. But all I remember was I was drinking at a barbecue. And it was the night Aaliyah died.
Oh,
yeah, it was sad because we were all kind of devastated about hearing that news, and then we heard about like, oh my God, there's aliens over by this area, and I'm like, we gotta go. So we hooked it over there, and like we didn't see anything because it was over by that point, but we heard about it on the news. So that's my encounter. So I don't really but I do keep an open mind. Keep an open mind about it. I think it's important to keep an open mind because the universe is vast, man. It's not like ghosts, right? Like everybody's like, oh, I've seen a ghost. And it's like, yeah, all right. The only ghost footage we're ever going to find, if there is any, better be in an OnlyFans video. Oh, that's all I want. That's all I want. I want irrefutable proof that ghosts exist on an OnlyFans video, just a random ass one. And I want nobody to tell anybody about it because they're going to have to tell how they found it.
I like that. That'd be hilarious. Hey, man, yeah, I saw it.
You have to wonder what that video is like. That would be even funnier if an alien abduction happened during an OnlyFans video and nobody knew. It's like the really weirdest one. Oh,
her live stream just continuously goes to just the fucking bed with the wet stain. Just that's it.
Jesus Christ! Do you think I said alien abduction? Oh, wet stain.
Yeah, all right. Because the OnlyFans. Yeah.
I did not put my own joke together to your dominating punchline. No, that was good. But that's with me with aliens. Like I don't think they're walking among us. I think if anything, they're kind of like, shut up. You guys are getting a little loud. Would rather not be around you. But I was like what was it? They were talking about it in the 3-body problem, which was a new one recently where it deals with extraterrestrials. But it's this paradox that says like when we finally get a chance to talk far enough to where other beings can hear us. The principle, I guess the paradox is like, what will we hear? And what if we hear, be quiet, they'll hear you.
Ooh.
Like what if they're not out there to be, that what if it's like the reason the universe is quiet is because like there's a bigger threat.
Right. I like that.
I know you do because you're weird.
Yeah.
So you should watch 3-Body Problem then. I think you'd really like it. I did. I enjoyed it. And they're making a movie about it too. China is producing it. But the Netflix produced a TV series, which is good. So I'm excited to check it out and check out the movie too, to kind of see that, because that paradox feels really interesting. And this 3-Body Problem, which is based on a book, it's basically like we have other dimensional beings trying to stop us by invading us, to stop us from reaching out to a darker alien force, which we did invite here, and they're on their way. So now we have to prep for it too. So it's like there's like so much. It's really interesting. That I'm not doing it justice, but it is wild, and it's borderline horror. But I did, so stuff like that type of alien stuff is interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want that. Like, I hope if we find out that life exists somewhere else, it's not xenomorphs. If it's at least if it's a goddamn predator, I could just be like, I ain't touching shit.
Yeah.
I'm a pussy. You go.
It'd be quick if it's not them fucking throat messing you real quick and then fucking getting you pregnant.
Oh my God. Well, we got plenty to talk about with that one. I will tell you, like, for you though, like, what aliens to you, like, what's the most exciting part about it? Like, when you think about life on other planets, or not even life on other planets, but life that could travel to this planet, what is that? What's the most interesting dynamic you could see happening?
So I almost wouldn't say it's as much of a dynamic thing for me as it is just a philosophy. It's just knowing that, not that anything I do doesn't matter, but it's more like my problems don't mean hardly anything in the scheme of the universe. They mean a lot to me because that's me, but whatever I'm super down or something bad, might happen, or something I perceive as really bad. I really just kind of sit outside and just stare at the stars, and I'm like, it's always expanding. So it's just like, there's more, there's bigger problems. There's bigger problems on our own Earth. And I don't know. It just brings me kind of hope because I'm excited for whenever we actually find concrete proof about, something else out there. Because being raised, kind of Christian and Southern Baptist, they kind of scheme away from aliens because, this, that, and the other. And I just don't see how you can look at the whole universe and even like, why are we the only beings? I don't believe that. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Even sheer odds, like you're saying, out of the billions of light years that we know that we can see, that now we can see more of just because of James Webb. You're telling me we're it. Like, we're the best. Like, Trump's the best, but we are not the best. We can't be it. Like, I refuse to believe we are the best examples of life in the whole universe.
What if we are? Let's think about this for a second. Let's throw out a theory. Okay, let's think about it. I love this. What if we are? What if every planet, like, and I'm not saying like whether it be God or whatever, like just a higher being. I believe in God, so like I don't mind saying God, but like for anybody else who maybe is listening or watching and doesn't, like, but let's think of it from a higher being standpoint. Or none at all. Let's take it, but either one, and it just truly leaves us alone. It has set forth the physics of the world and how everything works. And since that time where they set it off, planets have been evolving. And there are other planets with other life forms. I'm not even saying humans. I'm not saying, it could be adapted anyway. But what if it's almost like a race to see which one can interact first?
I like that. And that kind of fulfills my fantasy of us being in a simulation. It makes sense.
Right. To me, that dynamic would be interesting because now it adds this. First of all, I would love to just try and understand, like, if that's the case, like, and say we are the most advanced because we've space traveled. Like that was the jumping off point almost. Like in this design, it was like that going to the moon wasn't just about Russia. We did that because that's nature throughout the entire universe, right? Like competition and stuff like that as we've evolved, because like you have to adapt and overcome, right? So doing all that, we've had to this is not the Joe Rogan podcast, everybody, I promise. Just enjoying some talks about aliens and theories, but I'm letting loose a little bit. Don't drink bleach. So we get to I don't give a fuck. I love people from both sides. I don't give a shit. Like, it's funny though. Anyway, go back to my original topic. So we get to it. What if we were the first out of all of, first of all, this is the most American argument I'm making, but what if we were the first out of every planet that has evolved since the beginning? Because any other life form that had to have started, like even just thinking about it from the start, we've all started from the beginning, right? Right. So we are all evolved differently, but at the same time. No one really exists before us. Like we've all existed. Like, yes, I understand, but relatively, we've never really existed before us. Time as we perceive it may be different. Right. So I'm unraveling some shit in my own mind here. So it'd be interesting to think who is the most advanced. We often think that other species of aliens are so much more advanced because they've been around for so long, and that's possible because other species could have evolved beforehand and then evolved or evolved quicker than us and then evolved into something more technological savvy. But holy shit, what if we were the first ones?
Who's to say the Mayans didn't do it? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Oh no, but that's what, like, that would be cool too, because it's like maybe that there is a thing to aliens visiting, but they only come when they really need to push us along.
True.
Oh,
Kind of
man.
like the Adjustment Bureau, but they're aliens. I like it.
No, let's go with Fringe. Justin Burial sucks.
My fault.
No, I'm kidding. It was a good correlation because mine's more interdimensional, but that'd be an interesting idea, because we're always like talking about multiverse or like all these different parallel universes, but and when we talk about space, we talk about other life forms, but we're not thinking about it from this perspective of like everything started at the same time,
right? Yeah.
So like technically somebody has to be the most advanced in that time.
Yeah.
And I nominate USA. Getting another gold, boys.
I like it. I respect it.
Oh my God.
God bless America.
That would be the most. Could you imagine if aliens wanted to come down for first contact with us and bestow all this information onto us? And I don't even want to think who would meet those aliens. But could you imagine if we were all just dressed in USA? Had everything on us, and they just didn't choose to come here at all.
Yeah. Like they come down and coincidentally it happens to be 4th of July and they're like, fuck this. This is some weird shit.
You're not advanced. We'll come back in another 2,000 years. Oh my God. No, it would. That's why everybody's like, that's the only reason I can think that people would abduct us. Other words, why? Like, why? Because like they have all their information. You abduct maybe 3 people in different time frames, right? So
right.
Like aliens are very inefficient if they have to keep coming back and abducting us.
Yeah.
Because it's tests, right? So you could run all of your tests. Now, granted, like if they're, and I think about this shit, people, I do. This shit goes to my, you were getting an in-depth look at my head in this episode. Because like sometimes, and it's not, again, not conspiracy theories. I'm just like, this would be an interesting angle because that's a writer's head.
Yeah.
What's an interesting angle? What's a cool story? What can, stuff like that. So this is like basically how I think all the time.
I get it.
So for me, like I'm trying to think of like you would abduct maybe your medical, let's say the aliens' medical advancements, that's what they're testing on humans or whatever, biological advancements. It would have to be maybe every like 20 or 30 years period to really mean anything. Maybe like 2 or 3 people here or there, stuff like that. But like otherwise, like what's the point? So there's no way everybody's getting abducted as much as they are. There's no aliens coming down testing us.
No, that makes no sense. And especially probing. Probing is what kills me every time. I'm like, you're telling me an advanced species, period, whoever they are, the only way they can figure out what's going on in Paul's life is by probing my asshole? No.
Don't want that fecal matter, dude.
Sure. You can see that I have a poor diet, or you could just fucking ask me and there it is. But that part is where like those stories about the Greys and how all they do is probing. No. I refuse to believe that, especially because they talk about them being able to telepathically talk to each other and things of that nature. So you're telling me they can't look in my head? I'm too smart for them. They got to go in the other end. No.
See, I want to talk to an alien expert, but I don't because I want to. There are.
Sure. Sure.
There are.
Yeah. And I'm a demonologist, and here we go, you guys.
Oh my God. Stop eliminating our base, Paul.
Sorry.
There are actual alien experts because again, like it's not like I'm thinking none exists, but like there are scientists out there who study life on other planets and looking for it and stuff like that and charting maps and stuff. Like I'm not saying they're studying it in a way that's like they're trying to find it.
Right.
So like there's nothing wrong with that. That's an expert who's so for me, but I that's not the expert I'm talking about. I wouldn't mind talking to them too, but I want an expert on like all things that we're talking about. Like why do they probe? What are they doing? What are they looking for? Do they play with nipples? But that's where it pisses me off is you can't have that conversation with an expert because the minute I'm just like, well, Like, even if I'm not joking, but I'm just like, well, what else do? Do they cut into you? Like, are they taking things? Like, what's going on? Like, I want to ask all the questions, and then when they give me an answer, if there's like holes in it, I want him to plug up, or her to plug up that hole. So that way, like, it's a sound conversation, an argument. Well, not even an argument, just a debate, because I'm not going to be shitty about their beliefs and such, but I want answers. But you never get that. Like, I was a ghost hunter. I get it. I wasn't a TV ghost hunter. I was just a fucking idiot, amateur, moron ghost hunter who went into very dangerous places that he shouldn't have went into at night. Which was my childhood anyway. But so
that should be the fucking greeting sign for Jersey. Welcome to Jersey. All the places are dangerous. Go ahead.
It's like Australia if everything else was trying to kill you. Except the animals.
I like that.
Yeah, dude. It's so, like, we did, and like it was the same arguments. You make the same arguments, but there's no soundness to them because there's holes. And the problem is, when you start trying to plug up those holes and question those holes, that's when you get called a denier. That's when you get called this, that, and the other thing. And it's the same with politics. It's the same with religion. It's the same with every single thing. If there's holes in it, people who cannot fill those holes or just say, hey, listen, like in religion, well, it's just my faith. Okay, I can accept that argument. I'd call you ignorant, but I'd still say I can accept that argument because it is based on faith.
Right.
But that's not what you're doing. You're arguing, well, no, the Bible says this. And the Bible, okay. If you're not going to take this conversation seriously, calm down. You don't even follow Christ. You follow a book. It's amazing. If that book had legs, it would talk. It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Because it gets all the time. Because if it had legs, it'd have an ass.
Yeah. Like Middle Easterners named John and Paul, because I've met a ton of those anytime I've met anyone from Jordan. Jesus fucking Christ. That's what anyway, we're not even talking about the Bible. Like that shit.
Oh my God. Maybe it was aliens. Maybe those are alien names. Maybe the disciples. They were the Greys, led by a green. You never know. Listen, Jesus was green. I love Jesus. Jesus is my homeboy. And I mean that. I mean that wholeheartedly. I love that man and his teachings. I don't love your book, though. You know what I found out the other day that's weird?
What?
Race absurdity, baby. That's what this is.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of aliens, so I was looking up. I wanted to know. Somebody asked, I think it was my son, asked what Donald Trump's father's name was, because I said he was a real estate tycoon and such. And he was like, "What was his name?" And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I can't remember what his name was. And I looked it up. It's Fred Trump, which that's what his name. Do you know what his middle name is?
Please be Donald.
No.
Is it Rick?
Christ. I'm not kidding.
Why am I surprised?
His middle name is Christ. I am so surprised that hasn't come up more. And I'm sorry if I alerted to everybody to it before the election. But if you're voting based on that, holy God. Like, please tell these people to do something different.
Christ is his father. I'm sorry.
Oh, why did you just this is an aliens episode. Who do you think's gonna watch this randomly? I might have to be this might have to be shadow ban.
Well, then while we're talking about it, let's just go ahead, and I think Biden's a reptilian. Just
oh my God. Oh, dude, let's talk about that. Let's get off this topic real fast. But like, do you think reptilian aliens are a possibility? Let's hear it.
Yes, I believe it's a possibility. I believe a lot of things. Like, I feel like anything's possible, because I know
you just rallied against the church.
Anything's possible to an extent. I don't know. What fucks me up is you just think of an array of light, right? And what the colors we can see, right? We can only see within a certain range. And there's so much we can above and below.
Yeah.
Okay. So just that alone, I'm like, what are we not seeing that if we could see above those other colors, we'd be able to? It's just like James Webb. It doesn't look as beautiful as we think it does. They just change it so that we can perceive what it actually would look like to our eyes, but that's not how it actually looks. So things like that, I'm just like, I mean, there's a lot of shit we don't see and can't see.
I agree.
Physically possible.
I agree, and I think, and listen, we find new sea life all the time, and we've barely tapped that resource. So, like, I definitely agree.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's another one that'd be really cool. But like, like same with sea versus space. It's like, yeah, there's just so much we don't know, and we don't have the capability to find out yet. Because you can't even just send subs down to where a boat sank.
No,
let's be real. Like, so, like, we're not getting to the bottom of the deepest level to find stuff.
Yeah,
which is so crazy to me. But I love it. I love thinking about that.
But we could go to the moon. I'm just saying, you guys.
No, that makes more sense, dude. No, it's not the same because you don't have the water pressure. Yes, you have pressure, but we have pressure we can handle there. That's why, like, exactly why. That's exactly why. Take that ocean liner sub that unfortunately everybody passed away in and blew up. I'm not trying to make a mockery of that in any way, but
right,
like what the amount of pressure could do, especially if something's not right within the instruments and things like that. Like you get, and again, another one that was a hard catastrophe, but the Challenger.
Yeah.
Those are two very similar situations. The more confident one is going into space because we can make things that can handle that pressure.
Right.
Like we can make things that can handle that pressure now down below, but you don't want to send it. You don't want to send it. Do you know what would happen if we dropped the world's most powerful nuclear bomb in the Marianas Trench, the farthest depth?
Tsunamis?
Nothing.
No.
Nothing. The pressure down there is so insane that when it went off, it would like not cause damage down there, but like it would not get far. And then by the time all the remnants reached the top, it would already be irradiated.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the amount of pressure we're talking about. So like we can't because we can't even fathom it. And we gotta, a lot of times, like we base it off of what we can handle in our bodies too.
Right.
And our bodies can only handle so much. So I don't doubt that one day we're going to have some sort of contraption, especially with AI becoming so much bigger now, that can make it to the farthest depths. But again, it comes back to that question: should we?
I think we have. I think that's why we're so invested in space. I think we're trying to get the fuck out of here for some reason. That's
okay. That's a big way in. That's a big difference. And I'm not like I dig that take. So you think we found either nothing or we found something that's like we got to go?
Yeah, I think that's why. I think that's why we're constantly looking for somewhere else to be, and we're talking about colonizing Mars, in 40 fucking years. Blah blah blah.
I think that's just nature. I think that's human nature. We conquer everything, right?
It just bugs me. And like, why would we check out our whole planet? Like we have we recheck out shit on our planet we already know about. National Geographic comes out with Planet Earth number 8. Yeah. And we're seeing the same ape's ass while he picks off fleas off the other one. But we gave up on the ocean. I refuse to believe
we didn't give up on the ocean. We didn't give up on the ocean at all. They're still
checking it like space. Like I don't know.
Well, I disagree. I think the PR people for space are a lot. And listen, you get what's driving it? Like you're saying that based on being a movie fan, I bet, because we see a lot more about space than we do about water. And honestly, like everything we learn about space and water in movies other than Interstellar, it's like, nah, man, calm down. Like, like we got to chill a little bit. Like it's because it's all sort of made up. It's like, you only get one phone call when you get right like that. It's just all sort of like little bitty truths that they throw out there. But now I'm not saying you're wrong, and it's an interesting theory. I like it. Again, that's why a lot of people, like with conspiracy theorists, are like, oh, how can you listen to shows? Like, because I don't buy it. It's an interesting theory. It's cool to hear. Right. When people are freaking out about flat earthers, I'm like, yeah, I'm not a flat earther, but they are, and whatever. Just listen to their story. Who gives a shit?
Right.
Why do you have to be right? Sometimes you can just get a fun story out of it. Like Scientology was fun until you heard about the slavery and all the other stuff that could possibly and has been reported. I say for safety, because I am not accusing. I'm just regurgitating things I've seen on this podcast. We talk about a lot of let's get to our top 5 aliens.
All right.
I feel like we're testing a lot of fate here. Like we just kept going. This conversation kept getting. We have a conspiracy theory episode coming up. I am not excited for it whatsoever. Anybody who's watching or listening, if you're on the Patreon, which you know what, before we move on, actually, everybody remember, Sticker Mule's the sponsor of this week's show. Thank you, Sticker Mule. Secondly, if you guys want to stay in the know, get our newsletter, get links to our stuff, go check out other reviews, written reviews, and other stuff like that. And things are going to be going exclusively to this. So you're going to want to join up, especially this show in October after the 5th anniversary. Join up on our Patreon. You can follow for free or you can join one of the paid tiers. All have perks. They're all fun. They're all great. But that's where you're going to kind of be in the hub. You get into the Discord, and that's where everybody is. Be part of the Snob Nation. Help us support and get, doing this, help support, just even that. If you could share or like our stuff, that really goes a long way. But if you're a paid member, we truly appreciate you and appreciate all your support as well. But yeah, so that was my pitch for that. Let's go to our top 5 aliens, though. I'm excited because I don't want to fall deeper into the conspiracy theory hole.
It's a deep hole.
But if you are on our Patreon, tell us what conspiracy theories you'd like us to look up and talk about in that episode. It's coming up in September.
Except you, Brian, you're going to send me down a K-hole because you know what conspiracies I mess with. So keep that to yourself.
It's going to be part of our Snobtober episode on October 22nd. We're doing ghost hunting and other conspiracies. Ooh. So if you guys want us to talk about something, please let us know on the Patreon what you want to talk about. And that goes for most episodes, most themes. So we'd love for you to do it. But let me pull up my list. Okay, let's start with this is 5 takeaways. We're talking alien movies today, so I'm excited. I did my top 5 alien movies. Real quick, my parameters were no xenomorphs. So if it exists within the xenomorph landscape, it's not in it. So I did count E.T. and I did count Predator because Predator, of course, is a connection between the two. And we can get into that in another episode. So I didn't count them. I did not count Star Trek, Star Wars, or any of those big ones. I didn't count Marvel, anything like that. I went with alien movies. It had to be centered around Earth almost versus aliens. And it had to be, just that parameter really is like, so I didn't want to do anything that fit in that framework. Like I didn't do Galaxy Quest because it's more Star Trek and I just didn't want to do it. But all right. And then Paul, what was your parameters for yours?
So my parameters was aliens I would like to encounter, maybe meet, or if I was in that movie universe, I think I stand a chance at surviving. So
okay.
I
like it. I like it a lot. So we have 2 different ones coming. We're coming into those perspectives. So bear with us, but I like having our own parameters put on it. So that's why I try and keep it a little more open in that way. But all right, let's start with number 5. I'll go with my number 5 first, and it's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I love it, man. I love this movie. It is a great movie. It's so much fun. It's the right amount of camp cheesiness, and it's aliens, and it's just so much fun. Clown aliens are great. So what's your number 5, man?
So my number 5 is going to be one of the universes I think I could survive in because I love water. So I went with science. Since they can't fuck with water, I was like, no problem, man. I will live on a boat for a week and just watch them figure out water's a problem, and that's it.
That's interesting too. Actually, that could be, what was it? The Quiet Place too. A Quiet Place.
Oh, I didn't even think about those, but I don't want to mess with those. I'm too noisy, man. My bones are cracking every time I move and shit.
But if you're on a boat in water, they can't get to you.
Oh, that is true. But I have to get there first, and I'm noisy as shit.
That's fair. All right. Yeah. I wouldn't want to deal with them. I'd
be like, crack, 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 crack. Dead.
Yeah. I'd have hoses everywhere. It'd be great. All right. So my number 4 is Edge of Tomorrow.
Nice choice.
I love that movie. It's really well done. And the way they take that and then how they kind of keep playing it over and over again, which is fantastic. So what's your number 4, sir?
My number 4, because I think it'd be fun, is I went with the aliens off The World's End.
Oh, that was a cool one. That one, I think that's an underrated film. I like that. They're doing another Cornetto.
Yes.
Yeah.
Eggers doing another one with both of them. I'm super excited. It is very underrated because, you talk about movies with subtext. There's so much for Simon Pegg in that one. Like I get, it's an alien movie, just surface deep, but it's about an alcoholic that has a problem.
Yeah.
And is, and the woman is the only one that sees it and tries that, Gary, what happened to you? Anyway, but yes, I love The World.
It's a great episode. You're absolutely right. It's a great movie. I think it was, I say episode because it's more than 3, but it's that Cornetto series. So I like that. Yeah, that's a good choice. All right, so mine from the 50s, directed by Robert Wise, number 3 is The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Nice.
Great movie. And it has I think it is definitely inspired a lot in pop culture that I don't think it gets enough respect for. It's been parodied tons of times. Klaatu Narada what is it? Klaatu Baratu. Dude, we are losing our movie cards here. Kalatu, Barada, Niktu. That's what it was. Listen, actually, we're not moving. If anything, we just did it right. We just did it right compared to Army. We made Bruce Campbell proud, not so much anybody from the original Day There. So I love this movie, though. It is fantastic, has a great message, and just really well done. And I actually had a friend who was in this movie from years ago. He lived in my apartment area in LA, and like in the courtyard. We used to help him bring his bike up and down. His name was Jim Knight. He was an actor back in the day. He was an old man when we knew him, but yeah. So it's got a special place in my heart. But how about you, man? What's your number 3?
Next one is going to be another universe I think I could survive in and I'd have fun in is the Aliens from Mars Attack.
All right, here's my problem with your list now. Because you're like aliens I like to encounter, and I'm like, wow, man, that's so good, man. Like, who'd you want to encounter? I'm like, oh, maybe the smartest beings out there, like the aliens from Arrival or this or that. Paul picked up straight up, like, if I could survive the night, I'd survive the night in this movie at number 5. This movie at number It's not encounters, it's surviving aliens.
Yeah. The next ones are good encounters.
Fair. Well, let's get there. Number 2 on my list is not a good encounter. The Thing. Great movie. Great freaking movie. Of course, it's going to be on that list. Such a wonderful movie. If you guys haven't seen it, like I don't know what. I mean, I'm already doing a little 4-minute documentary on it this year. So, and that'll be out on Discovering Horror this year. So go check it out. But I don't know what else to say about it. It's just fantastic. That's what it is. So yeah, go check out The Thing. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is going to be an encounter where I really would like just to sit and chill with the dude for like a month. And that's Paul from Paul.
Oh, jeez.
It had to be. Like, I mean, come on, dude smokes weed, just chills.
You couldn't just go with Seth Rogen. That's all it was. Be like, just go to Seth Rogen's house and be like, dude.
I want Paul. His name's Paul. You know, funny. We're just going to be like, hey, Paul. Huh. I said, Paul, I'm Paul. Like, it's just gonna be this repetitive. It's gonna be so stupid. I'm gonna.
I know at least 3 people will drive crazy every single day. Just you 2.
That's fine.
How you doing, Paul?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Paul, how are you, Paul?
Oh, yes. He can't be a.
We're both aliens to a lesser degree. I'm just illegal.
Oh my God, you're not illegal. Don't say that.
No, I said I am legal.
Oh, I thought you said I'm an illegal one.
No, I said I'm illegal. I am a legal one.
Okay, good. Yeah, we need to clarify a little bit.
But I'm just like him. I'm an asshole. I smoke, probe.
Oh my God. Good. Matt, hide. If the lights start going on in your room and somebody grabs you, run. Just start those little legs. All right, let's get to our number 1. My number 1 was Men in Black. I think this is a tops movie. This is a great for.
Now, is it for the aliens or to be with the Men in Black?
I mean, I like it's not so much like the Men in Black were fine. Job seemed like it sucked actually. It's like all of these secrets in the world and all this stuff, and like you still have to wear a suit to work. I liked it, and it was a cool action movie. It's the movie itself. It's not so much the aliens were all cool, and also the fact that they used it like it was almost a hub, like it was an airport they're coming in and out of, customs and such. So that was a cool aspect of it. So like maybe working for the Men in Black to be around it. I don't have to be like a field agent or anything, but I don't fuck around with bugs. Giant bugs that are going to kill me. But although Men in Black is always being invaded.
Yeah.
It's always being invaded. It's just like everybody's getting away with it. So that's my number 1 though. I like that movie. I think it's so much fun. And I can watch. I just watched all of them with Jack recently. He freaking fell in love with them too. So I think they're fun movies for kids too. So what's your number 1? My
number 1 is going to be Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind. Jesus.
Third kind.
Jesus Christ. Lost a card on that one.
Oh
no,
my god, we lost a few cards on these movie podcasts of ours.
I get, obviously they are bringing people back, so they did, technically abduct people, but I feel like they're aliens that will actually share their knowledge with you. Like they didn't seem like they wanted to harm anybody. And to, like you said, like I was going with dumb ones. Those are ones that I think will share knowledge and be smart, and I think it'd be fun to chill with them. They won't like chilling with me, but
as like that movie as from a filmmaking standpoint is beautiful, but is the dumbest fucking story. And thank God he goes. He's a shitty dad.
The worst.
He was such a piece of shit dad. And like as soon as that kicked off, I'm like, I don't care. Like that's what I think bothered me about that movie the most is like, I'm like, I don't care. I don't care if he wants to get on the thing. I don't care if he's obsessed with it. I don't care. He was a shitty dad beforehand. Like, I don't care. Like, give me a charismatic character that I care about. Now, was he the greatest dad of all time and then something switched in him? That'd be interesting. Okay. He's so obsessed he has to get on the ship. Maybe it ends with the wife showing up and saying, don't go. This isn't you. This isn't who you are. Like, and not to take away from the ending, because what I'm saying is like ending was cool. But the story that led up to it, I'm like, we're following the wrong character because I don't care. Like, so I know I took the steam out of your engine there with because you did choose it, and like it's a cool encounter. I'm not taking that away from you. Your choice is sound, but fucking Richard Dreyfuss, man, in that movie, I was like, that guy in that movie is the type of guy who like goes to conventions and just like charges like $250 or $300 just for an autograph.
Does he really?
I know the guy who went away on a spaceship. Like,
okay, that guy.
That guy, he does.
Yeah, he does.
That particular, he looks just like a guy who would do that. Just saying,
you're not wrong.
So get on the asshole. Ship. We don't mind. You can just get on the ship. That's fine.
I almost went with Cocoon for my number one, but
it's a good choice too. There's some good ones, dude. There are some and there's so many friendly, but there's also so many scary, and then there's so many like just good, like just like solid movies. That's why I had to leave a lot of them off. I was like, I gotta put some parameters on this one. All right. Well, are you ready, sir?
I think so.
Are you ready to kick off? What movie do you want to review first? Which one did you like more?
Which one did I like more? It was Romulus.
Oh, I liked Jackpot more.
That is insane. Oh my god.
You know what? I see the passion behind your eyes when I said that. So start with Jackpot so we can finish strong. All right, let's we're gonna kick it off. This is our review of I almost said Alien Romulus. No, that's next. Go check that one out too. Or listen to the podcast. No, this is our review of Jackpot starring John Cena and Awkwafina. I went into this movie interested, but I didn't know. Like, it looked like just another one of those Paul Feig movies, action-y, comedy. Didn't know what to expect more than that. And it is. It's about a woman. It's in the near distant future. It's like 2030 or so. She wins this thing that California has made, this lottery. She's the highest winner of all time, $3.6 billion, played by Awkwafina. And how California does their lottery now is the person who wins, you find out like early in the day, and then you have till sundown to kill her, and you get her money. So the entire city is hunting her down. And John Cena comes in as a protective agent, during this lottery to work with her and like protect her and keep her safe. And then there's other ones that come across the board. There's other protective services that come in. It's an interesting story. We're going to get a little spoilery about it with this one, I think, because there's just some stuff I kind of want to go over with it. But let's talk about Jackpot. Paul, what did you think of Jackpot?
I mean, I did enjoy it. I didn't like it more than Alien, but I thought it was better than even Ricky Stenicki.
There's everything better than Ricky Stenicki except for Atlas by Jennifer Lopez. That's it. Don't ever say those words again. Don't ever. You're fired. You did it. You did it. You found the thing that would make me want to fire you. You said, I didn't think it was as bad as Ricky Stenicki. Nothing except for, say it with me.
But I liked Ricky Stenicki. I just said it was better than that. So if you liked Ricky Stenicki, you'll like, if you like John Cena, it's a typical John Cena movie. So I could only like it so much. The premise was new. It was kind of fun, but there's a reason why I went straight to stream. They didn't try it in theater. They knew it. So
yeah, no, that's for sure. Ricky Stenicki was balls, by the way, people. You can go check out our full review of that one. Shut your mouth. It was terrible.
We've watched so much worse this year.
I've watched at least one other worse. What was that other one we just watched that was really bad? Borderlands, right? We did a full review on that too.
Yeah.
No, that was better than
No,
Ricky Stenicki. Yeah, Ricky.
no, get the fuck out of here. But anyway, so Jackpot, I don't think it was bad. I think it's one that's kind of fun.
Oh my God,
I don't think you're
remembered.
missing out. Like, I don't think this is one past this weekend anyone's going to be talking about. Like, I
I
don't
might
think
watch this one again.
But I just don't see a year from now someone being like, "Oh, did you check out that Jackpot movie?" Like, I don't foresee it. So it was just kind of run of the mill for me. Like I said, I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was good.
I think this is one of those ones where, like, if you're looking for a good comedy, it could stick around. If you're looking for something like in this mix, like, and especially this dude's movies, I hate Ghostbusters 2016. I hate that movie with a passion. Like, Ricky Stenicki is above that movie. Not by much. Jennifer Lopez Atlas is still way below. It's just such a terrible movie. Anyway, going back to my original point, Paul, if that is your real name. No, it was just one of those things. Like, I really like Jackpot. I thought this was really well done. I thought this is more on par with, like, not in content what the story was about, but like the level of laughs, the level of excitement towards it, Bridesmaids, The Heat. Like, this is more towards his better movies.
Okay.
In my opinion. So I did like it. Is it the most solid movie? No, I'm not going to go on defending this movie like it's crazy, but I do see this as having lasting power for a group that really enjoys these types of movies. So no real big thing there, but like for the people who do like these types of movies or movies that we mentioned like it, this may be one you want to check out. This is one of the better sides. So, and if you're looking for a fun movie this weekend with you and, you know, your friends or something like that, this is one you could go check out and it's fun. But I liked it. Paul didn't seem to like it. Paul hated it. He hates John Cena is the problem, but John Cena is a fan of the Scene Snobs. It's true.
See, but I never see John Cena in his movies, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
You son of a bitch. You topped it. I was doing self-promotion. You went, I'm going to take this joke to the right level, and you did. You did.
I Ricky Stenicki'd it for you.
You mother. I don't hate you, but I'm coming close.
That's fine. You sound like my parents now. It's all good.
Oh, now I want to give you a hug.
they just didn't keep the receipt. That's why I'm still here. It's all good.
Just imagine, like, your mom, like, what do we need this for?
Yep.
And your dad's like, you got that receipt? He's crying a little bit. Oh, God, it's so self-deprecating. Anyway, all right. So if you're into these types of movies, thanks for watching. Go check out Jackpot. If you're not, maybe not. It can be silly at times, but I thought Awkwafina brought a lot of heart to it. I thought Simu Lee played a really good role in it. He was more antagonistical than you would think, especially John Cena. So go check that out. He does a good job. He plays perceptively sinister really well. So that's what we thought of Jackpot. And honestly, but let's give our ratings for this movie. Are you ready?
Yep.
So my rating for this movie was a 3.5 and Paul's was a 3, both out of 5. So yeah, I mean, so like, listen, it's not like I'm much more ahead of you. And when I get to Alien Romulus, you'll understand like what I mean. I'm by no means saying this is like the pinnacle or better. Like, there's a lot that Alien Romulus is just on another level for, but I did like this, and I thought this story, in my opinion, was better, and that is intriguing to me. So let's get to Paul's garbage right now. Thank you for watching, guys. Let's check out. We're gonna move on with our next review. So if you're listening or watching, keep going. But if you are watching this as a clip, you're gonna want to go check out the rest of the show, and at least our Alien Romulus review, because it's gonna get interesting. But here we go. All right, it's time. Let's review Alien Romulus. That's right. The story that takes place, I think, like roughly 20 years after the movie Alien from 1979, where they found the Nostromo, and they found encased in a meteorite the xenomorph from that movie. Now, I'm not giving anything away. That's the setup. That's how we get there in the connection. There are things that we will talk about, and spoilers will be up. So please remember, if you haven't seen the movie yet, maybe go check it out and then come back. But if you have seen the movie, stay tuned and let's get into it. It's a big one, so I have to give that disclaimer. I do want to say this. I picked this up.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's cool. It's a nice like bucket, like metal bucket, and it's got this cool,
awesome.
and this thing kind of moves around. I will be doing a full review on this, so go check out the Scene Snobs channel. Like and subscribe to do that. But that will be coming out soon too, so go check that out. All right, I know you're chomping at the bit. We talked about it a little bit. So the story is that these kids, they're like 19, 20 years old, are trying to get out of the life of mining that they're stuck in. So they go to sneak to try and get away to another planet. They have to go up to this ship, get some cryo tubes, so that way they can make the journey to this new planet. Within it, they find that, there are some face huggers being held in there. They've had some encounters before, and they get stuck having to deal with that themselves. So before we get into it, I do want to talk about it a little bit. Fede Alvarez directed it. Fede Alvarez directed it. He directed Evil Dead. He directed a bunch of other stuff too. Very good director. Very good horror director. And this was produced by Ridley Scott. Very much so. It looked like Ridley Scott's settings. So I thought that was very cool. I have said what it's about. Paul, let's talk about what you think about the movie.
Oh my God. Let's just talk about Andy, who plays the AI, the artificial. That actor was superb. How he went from playing an older model to all of a sudden having the newer chip in him to upgrade his stuff. Dear
David
God,
Johnson. I just want to point out his name.
He was superb. He sold it. That seemed like two completely different people. Like, I'm not saying he was just superb. That was great acting, period. I enjoyed everything about this movie, minus the fact it still blew my mind that some 19 to 20-year-olds knew how to fly a ship, knew how to gain access to all these things. Like, it was just normal when they talk about how they've never really been off planet and they've never seen the sun. So that's the only gripe I have with it, because it didn't make sense. But the rest of the movie, I
see them figuring it out though. So just to poke in, and which is funny because I have a lot of holes to poke into the movie itself, but to poke into your flaws in the movie, I can have suspension and disbelief there, because all of the controls seem very similar in how you're controlling things. So like the mining controls, it looks very similar to how you fly the ship. It doesn't look like Star Wars where you're like really maneuvering, because you're not, because technically you're cryo chamber. So like the ship is going to fly itself anyway. So like if you grew up in that element and working that and all that stuff your whole life, like I could see you being able to. Like they were in over their heads quite a bit.
Yeah.
With a lot of stuff. So I didn't think they knew fully, but like if you gave me a tablet as a child, I wouldn't know what to do with it. But if you give any child born today a tablet, they know how to handle it and what to do.
All right.
So I look at it like that type of logic, where it's like we're in a future where it's so far ingrained, space travel. Even if you never leave planet, that's a part of life.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I also think, just because we drive cars now, that doesn't mean every 16-year-old automatically knows how to drive a car. That's absolutely not true.
That's true.
So,
but driving a car is an experience like everything else. Like if driving a car was an experience like using a tablet or using a computer or something, then that would be something they could pick on, even fairly. Like the thing that screws you up with doing anything is fear, right? Your hesitations and stuff like. So when you're driving, like if there's no fear and you're like, fuck it, let's go. Most kids are going to get it. Like I'm talking like the 67-year-olds getting into it. Like they're going to get it. And they're like, okay, it's adding the other cars. It's adding the other elements into it. What could happen? Hesitation, stuff like that. So it's interesting. It's giving me a little bit of a heart palpitation knowing I have two sons that are going to drive someday. And I figure that out. And I don't know how I even figured it out. So like I didn't want to like poke holes in that, but like I could see like that to me is like suspension of disbelief. Like I get it, maybe they know how to do it. It's when we have like earthlings of today get on like a time machine or a spaceship and like some fantastical thing, and it's like they know how to maneuver perfectly, and it's like, okay, you're not an airline pilot, like calm down, that fighter. Like like this was like they were in servitude already, and plus they already had him right there. He's like an AI robot synthetic, right? So he can probably maneuver anything or do anything. In fact, it was him. It was all hinged on him going there to be able to control the ship.
Yeah.
So
that part though, yeah. But
yeah, I thought they did a good job.
But past that, I think for anyone that grew up watching Alien and Aliens, they're absolutely going to love this, because the filming style they use, the sounds are all familiar. It, like you said, you could definitely tell Ridley Scott was involved, and they paid great tribute to the original and to Aliens.
All right, so that was the feel. We got a little bit cut off, guys, but we're back again. So we're talking about like the sort of the believability, suspension of disbelief, and then we're sort of getting into the aesthetics of it. You know, for me, it did. Everything looked exactly where it left off. Not even in Aliens, in Alien, like Aliens. They crossed a fun bridge of like what Alien was and the suspense there, and Aliens and its action, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But my biggest issue is I loved everything about this, but the story is weak. I did not like the ending.
Okay.
The story was a bit weak. Yes, you're absolutely right. The character of Andy was fantastic. And I didn't dislike anybody that was in it.
Okay.
But we set up a really awesome horror movie. You had probably the best on-screen xenomorph I've ever seen. You're using practical effects, but there's very little gore, especially from Fede Alvarez. Not saying that you needed gore in this, but it didn't hurt, you know, because you're not just telling a tale that's very Michael Myers-ish, which is the first one was.
Mm-hmm.
You're more telling a story that's very, it's not even a second one. I'd say the pacing was more on point with like maybe Alien Covenant.
Okay.
But just shorter, which is nice. Again, I like this one.
Yeah.
This is probably my third favorite.
Ooh.
But I don't know that I'm gonna think about that because I'm gonna put it up on Letterboxd and rank everything. This is probably my third favorite. I might go see it again to see, but I do have problems with this story. I did not think it was a completely fleshed out story or that well done and I didn't think all of the characters really were that interesting. I loved in those first two movies every character you see.
Okay.
Even when you hate them, I love them. And to get into spoiler territory a little bit, why was Ian Holm there? He was on the he died on the Nostromo.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized people are going to be like, "Whoa, it was a different one." But why? So you're telling me Wayland Yutani makes synthetic beings, and they do look different because we clearly see that with Andy, and we clearly see that. Well, I can't remember his name in the movie, but Ian Holm's character in the movie. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank, but you do see that. But like, okay, one of the most effective things about the first Alien movie isn't just the surprise of the chest burster scene, isn't just the xenomorph hunting. Mm-hmm. It was when you find out that his character is an android,
right?
And they are so taken aback because like he was their friend,
right?
Never told them, and then he found out his nefarious plans of what's going on. Mm-hmm. So how would they not know if there are multiple synthetics of this character? How do you not figure that out? Like he's clearly there for a reason,
right?
But if there's multiple of this, like that's it's too, to me, that suspension of disbelief is too much because again, like we just saw him, he's not the same as the first movie. We have already seen that you can have different sort of looking such and such. They even stated in the second one that Bishop was not the same model, but he doesn't, and like it's not a matter of him looking different, it's a matter of him being different, right? You know, they were glitchy, so like him being there makes no sense other than you're trying to do fan service, but it doesn't work for the true fans, in my opinion.
See, and I don't, it's tough because like I guess like I like seeing him back so much, but like when I really think about it, like
did you see him back? Do you consider that Ian Holm?
As much as it could be, you know what I'm saying, but I don't know. I think for me that's not hard to believe just because I mean I can't tell you the newest model of a Volkswagen right now, but they're out everywhere. You know what I mean? Just because I drive a Jetta doesn't mean I know the newest Jetta or every version of my Jetta, even though they're different, even the same year. Those models are different. So
there's a difference though, because you're not connecting, you're not having friendships, you're not sharing secrets.
I do a lot of shit in my car. Like I know my car forwards about, like I can fix everything on my car.
It's not the same. It's funny. It's not the same relationship.
But okay, well then I don't know. I just don't see,
especially if he's your secret agent synthetic. If he's the one going out to get these things that you need, and you're sending him with this crew, and they know him well, and he's been with them for a long time, and they're all getting along, and they're all having fun, and like they know each other. That's what made that scene when he turns on them, and they find out that he's an android so much more interesting. Is the fact that they were devastated. There was clearly like, this is our friend.
Right.
Um,
But maybe in that universe, the AI, they're whatever you want to call them, they're not in everyday life quite as much as we know, because that's why they state, even in Covenant and Prometheus, when they're like, why'd you put on that mask? You're not, well, to make you guys feel more comfortable. Maybe this is one of those things where Wayland Enterprise just kind of ingests whatever his newest model is just within the company. So maybe they just honestly didn't know, because it's not how you and I are perceiving it, where like they're working here at
I think you're
Walmart,
trying to fish it out. Like, it's a hole. It's a hole. They shouldn't have done it.
I just don't.
They should not have done it. If anything, if you needed a more familiar face, I would have just brought Bishop back, because it's already been set up that he was Wayland. I would have just had, or Guy Pearce from Prometheus, or however you want to connect it, like whichever Wayland you want to use. But like, I would have had somebody that looked like Wayland. If you want to connect it in some way, you know what I mean? Having Ian Holm come back as the same android, it leaves a lot of holes, man. And it just, I don't know. That one bugged me, because I was like, this is a little much. And then honestly, a lot of it felt like it should have been in freaking Borderlands, like that acid, having to fly through the acid thing. Very cool. It didn't feel like a Aliens movie. And just to kind of wrap up my point on this before I give my rating, my issues with this movie is the same with Twisters. Both good. I know it's killing you, and I'm sorry, but both good movies, both worthy in the franchise, but they lack that something special, that heart, that charm that those originals had. And I think a lot of it comes from characterization. And you didn't care about a whole lot of characters. The main character you cared about this movie was the android, who was bad for part of it. So I think that's just why I had such a disconnect. I will watch this again, but for years, my watching has always been really just 1 and 2.
Okay.
I don't know if that will change. But do you have any final thoughts before we give our ratings?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm excited. My dad actually introduced me to the Alien franchise, so I'm taking him to go see Romulus tomorrow. So I'm kind of interested to see where he rates it as far as how it goes, because I remember distinctly when he introduced me to Alien and then Aliens. So
I love it. And see, that's the thing. I think this is going to be great for that. Again, I'm just being critical of the movie, because that's what this is. I think it's a good movie. I think people should go out to theaters to see it. I will tell you this, the ending is they should have ended it way differently. And that ending is really what brings down my score. Again, go see it. Go have fun with it. But when you see that Prometheus callback, that abysmal a Prometheus callback at the end, and tall lanky bastard that he is, it just is terrible. And then that's it's such great I was out. So it was such great practical effects throughout the movie. But then when you get to it and she's pulling herself back in and that thing jumps out, it did scare me. I'll give you that. I jumped. But when you finally look, I jumped because it's supposed to. It's a jump scare. And actually, it's so out of place with the rest of the movie. Like, even when the thing comes up and grabs him up the hole, like, that was a great jump scare. And then you get this, and it was such a cheap jump scare. I'm like, come on, Fetty. And then you look at it, and I'm like, that's disgusting CGI. That was not good. Like, that was clear, terrible CGI. And that's the only... that character, like, if you had just cut it off, or changed the design, you could have had the ending, but just change the design. I don't understand how the xenomorph is a perfect killing machine, and yet they still goddamn try to evolve it. It's perfect. Stop trying to it's scary. Just start trying to tell different stories with the damn thing. Go back to telling haunted house stories. Go back to telling action stories. All right. Paul, will you have any final thoughts for...
I really appreciated that the director fought for the practical effects, because they wanted to do a lot more CGI and he wanted to go practical, and I definitely appreciate it, because a lot of those scenes I watched a lot more in depth just to see, how things were done. And I as someone that loves the thing, I thought I greatly appreciated that as a fan and just a film goer, because there's such an art to making the actual thing instead of, I'm not saying a cop out, because I get budgets anyway, but I enjoyed not having it all CGI'd. And I thought it was a great movie. I would suggest to go see it. I know some people have asked me personally, do you think you should see it in IMAX? They said they filmed it in IMAX. I mean, if you can afford it, I'd say yes, but I'd say I saw it in standard and I absolutely loved it. So I don't think you're going to lose anything. But I think also, if you financially can just go see it in IMAX with your family, go see it in IMAX.
If you're really into it, I'd say go see it. If you were really into seeing sci-fi, especially that ending scene when you get to the rings of the planet, worth it. I didn't see it in IMAX. I saw it standard and it was worth it there. So I got to imagine that scene in IMAX is worth it. It is worth going out. This is a fun movie. If you're looking for a fun horror movie, but it isn't, I wasn't underwhelmed by it. But I wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't overly oh, this is so fantastic. There's a lot to it where I'm kind of whatever, it's fun. But I feel the same way. Well, actually, there's not a whole lot of alien movies I feel the same way about. No, but this was cool. I just hope they're done. I don't want to go back to it again. I don't want to go back to the Nostromo. I don't want to have callbacks anymore. If you're just going to do it, either do it in a way that brings them back to horror or sci-fi. Stop touching down on both.
Yep.
And get I don't want to say get better directors because I like Fede Alvarez, and he did a great job in this. But I also don't feel like he was an Aliens fan.
No,
I don't feel I feel like he was doing his best. Stop with the fucking quotes too. I didn't need that guy to be get away from her, you bitch.
The pause.
And he said it so a long pause. I was anyway, before I talk myself out of my rating, this is a 3.5 for me out of 5. So same as Jackpot. It was a fun movie. Go check it out. But it's on the same level. It's forgettable, but at the same time, I might check it out again. How about you? What is your rating for it?
I think I put a 4 out of 5, so I put it at an 8. 4.4 out of 5. Sorry, just 4 out of 5. Yeah.
4 out of. How did you get 8?
Because I do mine out of 10 for personal, and I still get messed. Anyway, 4 out of 5. Yeah.
I love it. 4 out of 5. Okay, well, there's our ratings. So 4 out of 5 and 3.5 out of 5. Go check out Alien Romulus. Let us know what you think, because that's the way it's going to be. But let's talk about our mixed movie pick. And this week we're going over to France. From 1960, I picked Breathless. That's right. If you haven't had a chance to check this movie out, it was kicked off the French New Wave, man. This is a very raw film. It's a beautiful film. We get into talking about it. I kind of unleash my feelings about it a little bit. This opened up. I often claim Cinema Paradiso opened my world to foreign films. But Breathless opened my world to foreign films. When I saw this in college, I learned a lot. I especially learned a lot about shots. Cinematography in this is so different, so dramatic. It's so fantastic. I can talk about it for days. And it's a great story too. It's really pleasant. I don't want to say nice little story, but it is an intriguing and interesting story. So I always appreciate that. So if you haven't seen Breathless, go check it out. It's fantastic. But it's one of the ones that opened me up to wanting to see foreign films from all over, all different types, independent, all the way up. So go check out Breathless if you haven't. We're gonna have our classic film review, Snobs Film History classic film review. Will be out on Thursday. Go check that out as well. You learn a little more about the film. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining in. Let us know what you think about Breathless. Let us know what you think about Alien Romulus, Jackpot, anything we talked about, Aliens, the whole 9. But the way to do that is to join our Discord. You do it in the comments, and we will answer every comment. We promise. But I have to tell you, if you really want to get in touch with us and talk to us about it, you got to go over to the Discord. That's the way it does. And the only way to do it, you got to go to the Patreon and join up for free, join up for a paid tier, and then just hang out with us. Have a good time. You can be on the Patreon. You get our newsletter over there. If you do the paid tiers, there's plenty of perks, but there's plenty of free perks too. And we'd love to have you be part of the Snob Nation because we love movies. And we know you do too. So join up. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Thank you to our sponsor, Sticker Mule again. Thank you, Paul, for being here. I'm at Podcast Movement 2024 all weekend, so follow us on social media. You'll see me popping around all over the place, and I appreciate you guys doing that. But yeah, until then, Paul, what do you got, man? What's going on with you?
Hey, we always care about you guys in Snob Nation. I'm not gonna put names on blast, but one of our fellow snobs is not doing okay medically. He's seeking the proper care, and best hopes to you, and we have nothing but love for you, and if there's anything we can do to help you out, let us know. And you guys keep an eye on each other because it's tough out there, just bodily, mentally, all types of ways. And don't be afraid to reach out, or if you just need to hear a hello, you guys make sure to chat with each other because that helps a lot. But
Absolutely.
keep watching, keep listening, keep loving the magic of movies. And I'm glad I finally got to see a movie that I didn't want to scratch my brain out after watching. So thank you, Romulus.
Very fair. He only likes the horror ones that I give him. So, guys, yes, that's everything Paul said was truly amazing and fantastic. And again, I don't want to put his name out there, but he knows who he is, and we love him. And once we get the okay to do that, we will say it. But he is Snob Nation member through and through, so we hope you get well soon, and we can't wait to hear from you and talk to you, man. But I will say also, to Paul's point, we have mental health resources linked down below. If you need anything, you want to look for a therapist, you want to look for groups around your area, things like that, or you just need to talk to somebody, we do keep always in every one of our descriptions, we keep those there. So go check those out. And thank you again for joining in. So we really appreciate it. We love doing the Scene Snobs podcast. You guys are all amazing. Remember to be kind, stay classy, and take care of yourselves, because that's important. And until next time, we will talk to you later. Bye.